Press Romania now. We're looking at these games. What have we got in here? Bogdan Daniel playing Firouzja. So let me see if I can make the names a bit more clearer. Yeah, okay, I think you can see them now, right? Actually, I think name should be clearer now. Yeah, okay, you can see it actually now at this stage. Okay, cool. All right. Uh, the last three games available for us to witness now: Wesley with Nordibek, Daniel with Ali Reza, and Gukesh with Fabi. Hello, Marian. How's it going, man? How's it going? How's it going? Right. Whose turn is it? Oh, Daniel's. Okay. What do you do with this bishop? Well, obviously, let me just highlight you can't do this because bishop takes, and if you take, you lose the queen. So, but you could do this, I guess. Bishop g5 attacking the rook. And if they do f6, actually, this guy is going to be like perennially weak. So, bishop g5 might be an idea. Mm-hmm. Ah, cool stuff, man. So now you got time for a tea or a coffee. You finish the stream. That's good. Good stuff. Let's see this one here. Gukesh Fabi. Okay, Gukesh being white here. Fabi with the black pieces. Hey, look at this weaknesses here. Weakness being this one in particular, but you can't get there because there is a rook, because there is a knight. Well, the knight can be traded, I guess. Anyway, white's turn to play. It is white's turn. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this one might be an idea. Knight takes on d5, queen takes, rook takes. Could this be an idea? Maybe. This bishop here takes the e8, so black rooks can't move over to e8. This one takes all the light squares in front of the king and f1, so you can't play rooks here. But you can definitely make a battery over to this side here. And anyway, I think I would just take this guy off the board. It's just too much pressure. You gotta keep the queen to defend c3. It's just one of those things. I think I would just take the knight. I'm not sure if that should be a draw or not. Ah, I see. All right, man. Cool stuff. You're taking a break now. That is good. That is good. Good to have a break every now and then. Right, so personally, I think I would just capture the knight on d5. Knight takes d5. Queen's on pre, so queen takes, rook takes, and then maybe rook e2, doubling up your rooks on the e file. And then maybe you're going to play on the e8 if black allows you to do that. Okay, so that's one idea about Gukesh Fabi. If you guys would play differently, let me know. This one here, Daniel, he didn't move nothing. I'm a little bit attracted by the bishop on g5 because I'm attacking the rook, because f6 will weaken uh, the king. Surprising move, bishop d2. It is surprising, this. It is a bit surprising. Okay, this one would have attacked the rook with tempo though, and then maybe you could have played bishop d2 back. Anyway, that defends this guy twice, so he doesn't, obviously, he doesn't want to drop the pawn. So bishop d2 defending this guy twice from double attack. Double defense, double attack, double defense now. It's a bit awkward to putting now the bishop. Probably you're going to have to waste the tempo playing the bishop again, maybe c3. Maybe c3. So you allow the rook to actually attack the d5 together with the queen. Probably a draw again, if I'm not wrong. I think that looks like a draw. Okay, what about this one here? Wesley Nordibek. Okay, whose turn is it? White's turn to play. Okay. What do you play? I think this guy is a bit happier than the knight. Oh, that's an interesting one. Actually, he played queen f2 because he wants the queen f8 check. And if rook takes, I'm going to take again. And that's how I potentially win. So yeah, if it's not clear, guys, queen f2 wants to go queen to f8. Check. Rook takes, pawn takes. Good promotion, though. So that goes with promotion. And pawn take, promoting queen. And actually, you up a piece. That is how you win the position. Now, that doesn't mean black is going to allow this to happen, but just making it obvious for all of our friends here. Yeah, queen f8 coming. Totally. I wonder. This one is a bit too slow, isn't it? Bishop c6 is a bit too slow. Because you're still going to play queen f8. So bishop c6 for... Okay, queen h1, right? So if black plays bishop c6, white still goes with tempo because a check is a check. A check is the most powerful move one can play. Most forcing move. So queen to f8 still happening. Check, rook takes, pawn takes queen, and then you just win. And then you just win. So really, bishop c6 is not going to happen now. The onus is on black here, so Nordibek needs to find out something. He needs to find out a way to playing this position. What would you do with black? What would you do with the black pieces? Would you move king to h? Yeah, but that... I don't know how to say. What would black do here? Well, you could play bishop c6, and after queen f8, you're not going to take the queen. You're going to move the king. Can you play like this? Can you play like this? Bishop c6, queen f8, check, king h7, king h7. And there's still a battery with the black queen and the bishop that might go on h1, by the way. After king moves on h7, does white have another check? Yeah, that's interesting. Now that's getting very, very sharp here. Totally. Queen f2, bishop c6. Hello, David. How's it going? Okay. Now that's an interesting position here. I guess bishop c6 can still be played by Nordibek. Following queen f8, you're going to move the king. King to h7. So I guess that definitely can be played. All right, let's go to Ali Reza and Daniel here. Queen to e. Okay. Queen to e. That means a couple of things, if I understand this one correctly. One thing would be pawn moving down the board. It supports this guy going down the board. You can't play rook e1 because if you do that, the queen simply takes the bishop. Just saying now all the ideas that I might see them. I think that looks very, very, very good. So d4 to d3, I think it's Alireza's intention here. How white is supposed to react though? I guess you could just go bishop g5, for instance. You go bishop g5, f6, bishop f4. Bishop f4, maybe. No, f6 is not playable because it's pinned. So again, bishop g5 and f6 is not playable. I think bishop g5 is quite good. I like it. Yeah, so the f7 is pinned. Bishop g5 then. Bishop g5. Let's highlight the square here. Bishop g5. Bishop g5. I like bishop g5. You attack the rook. Rook has to move. Yeah, bishop g5. If you guys have a different idea for white, type it in. Share your thoughts if you think white should be playing differently. I don't think so. Okay. Bishop e6. That looks very draw, right? I think should be a draw here. Does the bishop want to go here? And then here? And then some queen for a potential queen h1. Can you do this kind of arrangement? I guess you might be able to just do that. So he didn't play bishop d7, he played only bishop e6. I wonder if that's because he wants to play bishop d5 and then maybe you want to make a battery with the queen leading the attack, leading the battery for queen h1. Might be the case. It could be. I don't know what else you could play. And I don't know why did he do the bishop e6 apart from this idea, bishop e6 for bishop d5 and then yeah, then probably bishop a8 and some queen d5 makes sense. Okay, perhaps. I mean, what else is here? Probably a draw, right? Probably a draw. Okay. Daniel didn't move nothing. I think last time we highlighted bishop to g5. An attacking move. And black rook has to move. This one doesn't work because queen takes the bishop. So it's gotta be something else. Okay. Fabian Gukesh here. Aha, we've seen that one. They haven't moved. White to play here. White to play here. Daniel. Bogdan, Daniel. Moving for white here. And queen. And white to play here, Wesley. Wesley to move. What did black play? Queen. No, sorry. Abdustorov. It's Nordibek. It's Nordibek to play. And the idea was perhaps black wants to do bishop c6. Bishop c6, queen f8, king h7. There's no other checks for white. So queen f8, king h7. Yeah, I mean bishop c6 first, and if it's a check, king h7. Interesting. So why would you play with black here? Yeah. Bishop c6. Not an easy position. I don't think it's a very, very easy situation here, but I guess you have to admit after queen f8, you need to move the king. The rook fin yeah, there you go, there you go. He did play bishop c6, so I wasn't that far away from its thinking. Okay, so now we've got this, guys. We've got this. Let me just highlight. That's the checkmate. So obviously, the move that makes most of the sense here would be queen f8. Queen f8, to which black, obviously, black is not going to take the queen because they just dropped a piece. Black is going to move king to h7, right? I suppose. Oh, that's such an advanced white pawn on e7. How did it get there? That's a good question. We need to go back to the very beginning to finding out. But that is the surprising choice. Look at this. Knight blocking the queen, blocking the battery with queen h1 checkmate threat. And if the rook takes, we're still having queen f8 check here, and then we simply take the rook. That's just phenomenal. It's beautiful. Okay, double attack here. We could still have queen f8 though. I think queen f8 is still playable. I think it's very, very much playable anyway. Queen f8. Right? Queen f8. King h7. What do you do next? Can you do knight f6? Yeah, you can definitely do knight f6. They can't take. Wait a minute. I mean, they can, but then you're going to have a perpetual, which is practically okay. Okay, so let me see if that's what I want to do. Check this, check, and if they take, check, they go back, check. Yeah, something like this. Queen f8, king h7, knight f6, pawn takes, queen f7, and that's going to be a perpetual check. So that might be another draw, ladies and gents. That might be another draw here. I'm very curious if queen f8 is going to happen next. I think that's the normal, the logical move to play here. I don't think there's anything else. Queen f8, queen f8, queen f8. Absolutely queen f8. What do you think, David? Is something else than queen f8 here? That's gotta be queen f8. What's this message? Okay. So my candidate move would be indeed queen to f8, aiming for a perpetual check. Okay, as per this one here. So something had been moved. Daniel goes with queen to f3. Interestingly, queen to f3. Queen to f3. He didn't play bishop g5. Queen to f3. What if... Can he push the pawn? Can black just push the pawn now? Well, I guess they can. You can't really take, right? Because the pawn plays. That's a weird position. Queen f8. Yes, David, I've just read the message right now. Yes. You're talking about this very position here. Yes, I would say queen f8 and then knight f6 and then there's the perpetual check with queen f7 and yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking too. That's exactly what I would play if I were white here. I would do that. Yep. I agree. I agree very much. I'm not sure if there is anything you could try enforcing here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure knight f6 works straight away, I wonder. Knight f6, pawn takes, queen takes, check. I'm not sure. I'm not. I think it's a bit too wild. I think it's a bit too much. It's not going to work. No, you gotta go queen f8 first. Really, I really think that's the case. Yep, totally. Queen f8 here. Yeah, I think the only way to play. And that was a weird choice. Queen f3, played by Daniel here. The question is black able to just push the pawn, d3? Seems to be playable. d3. D3 with the idea that you defend the queen, you defend the black queen. If white queen takes, you're going to take, and you're going to force the rook away. So the rook moves away, and you should be able to win a piece here. So D3 seems to be the best reply here, right? For black. It might be it might be tempting to take the white queen just to mess up the white's pawn defending the king. It might be, but I think I like D3, unless I'm missing something and it's not clear. But I think D3 makes a lot of sense here to play it with the black pieces. Yeah, definitely D3. So my candidate move is D3 in this position for black. Here, my candidate move is Queen F8, and we'll see if we're correct or not. So Queen F8 for a Knight F6 and then the perpetual. And that's exactly bloody right. Exactly right. Queen to F8, King to H7, exactly as we said. And now I'm super curious if we are going to see Knight to F6, exactly as I had predicted. I'm curious about this one. So knight f6 takes, and then we have a perpetual check here forever. Totally. No, it's equal because it's a perpetual. Yash. It's a perpetual check following knight f6 now. And thanks for visiting the stream again. So after white plays knight f6, we do have a perpetual check. So that is why I haven't checked with the engine, nothing. I don't know what Stockfish says. But it looks to me that white should be playing knight f6, going for a draw now. You're gonna do a draw. Knight f6, pawn takes, queen f7, king h8, whatever. You're gonna go back. They can't take your queen because you're gonna promote, and then black is toast. So knight f6 will be making it perpetual check. That's what I would suggest here for white. And that's just the draw. That's just a draw. If Stockfish says that, that probably is this is the reason why. This is the reason. And D3. Hey, I'm happy actually that all the moves I'm talking about actually they come to be on the board. So D3, exactly, that would have been my move. And B5. Obviously, white couldn't have taken because this, and then the bishop is getting captured. So yeah, he wants to try to push this one, maybe deflecting some of the black's forces to move over to stopping that white pawn advancing. Okay, so I was right about this candidate moves here. As per this one, I think that probably a bit of a draw. I could say that maybe the black pawn. Okay, let me see. 336, 426. Maybe the black pawn structure is a bit more optimistic. Maybe because it's like three nice connected pawns as of now. I'm not sure about the future scenario, but it looks absolutely fine. Rook d e8. Could we go back with bishop on b5? I think we could do a threefold repetition. You could play bishop b5, rook is gonna go, whatever rook is gonna go, b8, d8, it's not very clear. And we can play this stuff a couple of times. Just to make it a draw. Yeah, that one looks very drawish. This one does look like a draw indeed. I wouldn't be forcing too much if it's not something clear that you're winning. I don't think I will be forcing anything. If you don't have some clear advantage, just accept a draw and fight tomorrow another one. That is cool. So he didn't play knight f6, but instead he did queen to f7, which actually wants to say I'm going to take your queen next turn. So now that makes me think that actually bishop's going to take the knight. That's exactly what's going to be. So ladies and gents, we're going to see bishop takes the knight. That's what I think black's going to do, 99 of 99. So bishop's going to take now. I don't think you're going to move the... Well, you can move the king if you want. I guess you can. Yes, you can. You can. Exactly right. And we could still do this though. We need debate on this one a bit. Knight f6, pawn takes, queen takes. King's not going to go h7. King's going to go here. And where do you go? You go here, check. Yeah, it's still a perpetual, right? It's still a perpetual check. So knight f6 attacking the queen and the rook. Pawn takes. No, wait a minute. Nonsense. You're not playing knight f6. You're playing queen f8 again. You're playing queen f8 again. Yeah, you're playing queen f8 again. Okay, this is a draw. I'm not sure about the knight f6. Probably that one draws as well. I'm not sure, but queen f8 definitely forces black to either move the king, or if you take with the rook, you just lost. Because I'm going to take back with promotion queen. So I have queen and rook versus queen and bishop. And I've got the knight. So that's not going to happen. But king h7 might going to happen very likely after queen f8. So I don't know what white can do here apart from queen f8. That's my candidate move. And I think this one going to end up in a draw. This one's going to be a draw as well. That will be the third draw, right? Because two draws already. That's the third one. This, that's a draw. This is a draw. This is just a draw. I mean, Ali Reza probably, or I don't know, did they propose each other draw or something? I mean, you really, there is no plan here because there is no weakness of your opponent. There is absolutely no weakness. There is no way you could win with white or black here. This is a draw. And they just agreed. So 3 draws today, guys. Just as of now. And rook b1. So he didn't play bishop b5. He played rook b1. Okay, rook b1 at least attacks here. Interestingly. Interesting. He wants to take on c5, and if queen takes, well, queen takes, pawn takes, then rook b5 attacking 2 black pawns at the same time. Yeah, I think maybe that's the plan. Maybe that is the plan for white here. It is black's turn, by the way. No, well, this one is a draw. Or, of course, I'm not going to draw against the grandmaster. Probably I'm going to lose most of the cases, unless the other guy is super tired or drunk or something. So no, I don't think I'm gonna draw against any of these guys ever, unless something really interesting takes place. I don't know. Queen f7, yeah, Queen f7. So Queen f8. Ah, okay, that's gonna be a threefold repetition, guys. This had happened already. So if Black now drops the king on h8, White's gonna play Queen f8, and we're gonna see a threefold repetition. That's gonna be a draw. That's how I understand it. That's gonna be a draw. And this one, it's an interesting. Maybe that's the only game in which surprising things might happen, because there might be some tension here, but still not that much of a weakness, though. I'm not sure what you could possibly play here. I think it's very drawish as well, this position. Looks to me very, very, very drawish. I think rook was on c8 already. I think rook had been moved c8 to e8 and now back to c8. So unless you want to try some tradings on c5 for the pawns, I don't know what else you could do. White's turn. White 6 minutes 40 something seconds for Gukesh. What can you possibly play here with White? Well, if you start trading, let's say they trade, right? Black has to take back. What do you take back with? Let's say you take back with the queen. No, he didn't. He played rook f1. Well, what about bishop h3? Then you're going to go back on b1, or you're going to go where? Rook e1 again? I don't see. Wait a minute, this is weird. If bishop h3, can I? No, you can't take on f7. You can't take on f7 because I'm going to take your rook on f1. So, no, if bishop h3, you're going to have to move the rook back or something. You have to move the rook away. Somewhere. Whatever somewhere means. b1, e1, d1, aligning the rook with the black queen. But looks like a draw. I think we're going to have 5 draws today. I think we're going to have something like 5 draws. I don't see how you can try anything. Yeah, so bishop h3 here. This is done. This one again, I'm not sure what they're playing at. Is there any crazy resource here available? Oh, I'm going to tell you something, guys. Sorry, it just dawned upon me. No, it doesn't bloody work. No, it doesn't work. No, you can't do nothing with that knight. No, 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 it doesn't work. Mm-mm. No, you're going to go back. But wait a second. Knight to f2. Okay. He supports that pawn still, queen and rook. What does he want to do? He wants to go g4? Why? For this and this. Okay, that's going to take quite a few tempi. But wait a minute. You can't go that. Actually, you can. Actually, you bloody can. Because if queen takes, the other guy's hanging, right? So you could do knight g4 if you want to. But let me tell you something interesting, Yash and David, if you guys there. I think black wants to play this. Just simply for this. So if white persists with the plan knight g4, it's queen c6. It's just queen c6. And then you have to go back queen f8. And we're still gonna have a perpetual, right, in the end. So knight g4, queen c6, and you're getting checkmated on g2. What do you play? Nope, he doesn't. Sorry, if queen c6 now, what are you playing? I guess you could play, for instance, knight e4, amongst others. Well, not too many though. You could do queen f8 if you want. King h7. No, you're gonna play knight e4. Queen c6 for the checkmate on g2, and you gotta block the queen with knight e4. You have to do that. Knight e4. Knight e4, and I guess he wants to play this and then some perpetual again. But he could have done a perpetual anyway. But he tried something with knight f2, but it's not going to work after queen c6, right? Queen c6 checkmate threat on g2. So I guess he wants to build up a helper for the queen with h5 supporting queen g6. But then again, no, knight e4 is incredibly important. Knight e4, very important. You have to play knight e4. 9 minutes for Nordibek. Well, 9 minutes 30 seconds, and then 8 minutes 50 something for Wesley. That's quite a sharp one. You have to play this one very carefully. So we got a very advanced white pawn. Very advanced. We have a queen c6 battery threatening checkmate, or at least very dangerous checks. And we may or may not have some, well, we definitely have queen f8 anytime. If actually queen c6 by black, can you just play queen f8? They're not going to take, right? They're going to move king h7, and then you check again. No, he didn't. h4, bishop c6. Okay, looks like a draw. It does look like a draw. I don't know what you're doing with white. I mean, apart from queen f8, king h, where do you go next? Back to f7? And then what? h5? You could do h5 now if you want. So two candidate moves here, guys. We either having queen f8, either queen f8, or we're having h5. Which one is it? Queen f8 check or h5? Queen f8 or h5? None. Queen e6 going for the trade. Black declined the trade. Queen c7. And not just decline the check. They looking at g3. G3, and this is really serious. This is really serious, queen g3. I guess you have to reply queen e5 ASAP. You have to reply queen e5 or you're going to get in deep trouble. So queen e5 to stopping the queen to take on g3. Yeah, so queen e5 looks to me the normal move here. Queen e5, queen takes, rook takes. Okay. As long as you keep your guys on dark squares away from the bishop to attacking your pawns, it might be something. All right. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, queen e5. Sorry, is there anything else than queen e5? Should white be playing differently here? I think I would play this. Just stop the black queen to getting 8 g3. So queen e5. No, he didn't. King h2 defending. I guess queen e5 was also an option, but this one is an option. 2. King h2 defending g3. Okay. I might give them some knight, bang, and then stuff like this. Or maybe like this. Definitely some knight g4, knight e5 ideas. He doesn't give up that easily. There is something still happening here. That knight wanna go to e5 and then g6 or f7. Which one is it? One of these two. Knight g4, knight g4, knight e5, knight f7. Check. And if the king goes on g8, you're gonna have it discovered. Very dangerous. So I think black has to be super careful about that. King h2, black's to play. What do you play, by the way? What do you do with black here? Are you going to do queen d7, trying to, you know, generating some trades and things? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. That advanced pawn on e7, wow. How it keeps like the black rook completely paralyzed. I mean, it's just the black rook can't do nothing. It's just it has to stay in front of the e7 pawn. Bishop b5 now. Interesting. Okay. Bishop b5, rook being protected, bishop covers all the f1, b5 squares. Okay. Okay. What would you play with white? You go with this idea? But it could be this. It could. It actually could. Nah, queen e5 is just getting too much. Queen e5 stopping the queen, protecting this guy on b2. You can't allow that pawn to be taken. So the bad stuff about doing something like knight g4 previously was that, well, actually you could have, after queen c2, you could have just, no, you can't. Because there is a bishop here stopping you. So you have to play queen e5 to just stop any queen c2 ideas. This is very important. There you go. He played queen c2 regardless. Queen c2. Now probably we're gonna see what? King. If you play queen to e3, you're gonna drop the b2. This is very critical because then this guy gonna get pushed and promoted. So you can't say you're playing queen to e3. No, exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly as I said, king g1. Queen has to stay where it is to defend b2 and to defend g3. And of course, queen does very many things. Supports that guy. Anyway, the bishop here does not allow rook to play e2 or queen or anything. Very well positioned, the bishop here. Very well positioned. So king to g1, moving away from the pin. So you could say that white is actually able to play the white knight on f2 somewhere. So they could play the knight. Where do you move the knight? Well, you got options. Maybe you should play knight to g4, knight to g4, knight takes h6 because the pawn is pinned. And after knight h6, yeah, there is something definitely about that knight. You've got to move the knight to attack your opponent, pawns or king or and such. So knight g4, knight h6 might be something. Might be something. White queen has to stay on e5, defending rook, defending b2, defending e7, pinning g7. So yeah, that would allow knight g4 and potentially knight h6. But let's see how Nordibek reacts here. It's very nice ending here. Bishop versus knight. Opened diagonal position, but also king's position. Black king's position is not that great. And well, and there is an advanced white pawn on e7. This is very important for black. Okay, queen to b3. Queen to b3 does, again, it's a multi-purpose idea. Queen to b3. Keeps an eye on this guy. Keeps an eye on g3. Keeps in check those two pawns, if I may say that. Attacks those two white pawns. And he might go to making a battery with this bishop or going to f7 if necessary. Stopping any incoming checks from the queen if king were to move on g8, for instance. You know, if white king is to move on g8, you cannot. Well, you actually can check queen takes, rook takes. You actually can. But black's not going to play king g8. Come on, let's be serious. Black's not going to play this. White's turn, by the way, now. So what do you do? Good question. What do you do? Can you play rook e3? Or is just too much? I got an idea. Can you play rook e3 attacking the queen? You can't get checked though. Can you play rook e3, rook f3? Rook e3, rook f3 for rook f8. Can you do that? Or rook f7? Okay, it's getting really, really interesting. I don't think black should go should be very fascinated about taking the white pawn on a5. I think black should pay attention to actually rook e3, rook f3 ideas, which I think is quite dangerous. Rook e3, rook f3, it is dangerous. There you go. There you go, rook e3. Yeah, I did get quite a few moves. I mean, that's important. Rook e3 is important. I think it's a game changer, rook e3. Very important move. So now it's not going to work. This kind of stuff, it's a disaster. Getting the queen to just grabbing a pawn. No, you can't do this. So rook e3 attacks the queen with tempo. Now you've got this. This is important. This is important. Okay, so you've got the battery, queen f1. You have to be careful. Can you still play rook f3 though? Well, well, you kind of can. But queen wants to also play this, if possible, or this. I think if you do, rook f3, even queen f1 or queen c1 is not going to checkmate the white king as long as you go to h2 and the knight is defended by the rook on f3. So I think you could still do rook f3. Rook f3, let's take queen f1. So rook f3, queen f1, king h2. And what else have you gotten? Nothing. It's still rook f8 coming. So that rook e3 played by Wesley, it's really, really good attacking one. I'm not sure queen c4. He moved preemptively, guys. He moved preemptively. King h2. So now if you play queen f1 or queen c1, doesn't mean nothing. Very interesting. And now if you play queen f1, let's just say, queen f1, there is rook e3 actually for rook f8. What is it? Oh, is it? Oh, man. Let me... So how do I get this thing off? Online. Enable. And I think I turned them off. Okay, cool. Oh. Okay, now they're absolutely dead. Okay, cool stuff. Okay, no more engine line. So yeah, okay, queen to f7 because you need to stop rook e3. So queen went here to stopping, if I understand this one correctly, to stopping rook to f3. And you can't do this now. You can't do rook f3. But you know what knight h3 does? Knight h3 might be a couple of things. Hold on a second. Well, defends f2. Okay, fine. Maybe knight f4. And then this, and then this. Well, it's gonna take like a billion years, but anyway. You can't play rook f3 now. It's black's turn anyway. Anyway, it's black's turn. It's not white. Black's turn to play. I wonder if king g1 might have been better previously. Oh, it's because it's been... Oh, okay. Now I think it's stopped. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I think it's stopped. Yeah, knight h3, knight f4 seems to be a logical thing to do. And there is a... What's this? Oh, well, that doesn't mean nothing. You can't check or anything. Well, you definitely stop knight f4. But, okay. What is white supposed to be doing? I'd love to play rook here. Can we drop the queen for supporting rook f3? I'm not sure. I think it's important. A knight has to stay on h3 because No, rook e2, I think it's a bit weird because of this. It's not going to work, rook e2. Rook e2 is guarded by the bishop on b5. Rook e1... Rook e1 attacks the queen, that's for sure. So queen's got to go. If queen goes back on f7, though, yeah, but that allows you to play knight f4. And eventually, to know something, h5 and knight g6. I think that makes sense. Yes, I think it makes sense. Yes, yeah, exactly right. So now black queen has to move. There is no more check that white can get. So you get no more checks. There you go, queen to d3 now. And, well, there is a check here, though. There is a check there. They're gonna be something for white to achieve now. Wesley, I think Wesley can find the right tempo and the right maneuvering to getting this guy to do something. The knight, that is. It's not very easy to find out what the knight f4 being played right now. As we said, I think Amerian said that as well. We do have a check here, though, if we want, but then I guess we could just move king h3. Could be some checks, though. It could be. And then we play g4. Okay, it's getting complicated, but I guess it's playable. As long as you have rook to e3 and stuff. It might be just doable. So after queen d2, what do you play? After queen d2, are you going to play king h3? Or are you going to go king g1? Okay, so queen d2, check. Where do you move the white king? I guess you move king g1, right? The whole idea is for you not to get checked anymore. Okay, queen d2, exactly. Yeah, exactly the line you've written. I've said it a few seconds, but he actually opted for king g1. That feels like a human. I feel that actually king g1 stays away at least for some checks that might be given. So king g1 away from checks, I think makes a lot of sense. Okay, that one had been played anyway. Now, if you go for this, king's gonna move. If you go for this, rook's gonna take. You can do under promotion check. Okay, look, this is getting interesting. This is getting now interesting. I'm not sure if you should play knight g6. This is very sharp. David and Marian and Yash. This is getting very sharp now. You have to calculate knight g6. Obviously, king g8 can't be played because queen e6 check, and I'll take the bishop. So knight g6, king h7 check. Rook takes, knight under promotion check. King goes check. You take knight, I'll take your bishop, and they take your rook. This is very elaborate and complex. I'm not sure. Oops, what did I do? I need way more time for this. I need way more time. Nope, he does h5. Still defending against the checkmate because the knight on f4 protects g2 square. So black can't play queen g2 because there is a knight. So knight g6 after king here, I don't know. Probably you're going to go check like this, right? A rook takes, you take back with the knight. This is complex, really complex. This is complex. This is really complex. b3 being played by black. I'm just so curious how exactly he going to capitalize on this. And of course, we should be watching Gukesh Fabi, but I don't know what to watch first. I don't know what to watch first because I like them both now, and Queen c3 makes a lot of sense. Attacks queen, attacks b3, attacks bishop on c6. So queen c3 makes a lot of sense and protects the rook, so to speak. So queen to c3 does very many. It's a multi-purpose move, Marian. I guess that's a great idea. Again, attacks queen, attacks bishop, attacks pawn, defends rook. So spot on, my friend. Queen c3 does very many things, indeed. And I think it's quite safe as well. I mean, holds everything together and attacks black at least on three directions. So this is a very, very interesting idea you suggested with queen c3. I think it's great. I think probably queen c3 would be the safest and the best, and then you can explore some knight g6 craziness. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that move. Queen c3 is glorious. Yeah, I don't know what the engine says. I'm not gonna ask the engine, but I like queen c3. Makes a lot of sense. It does indeed. And there is queen c3 actually allows, in principle, allows knight to e6, actually delivering checkmate on g7. So let's suppose queen c3 and black plays God knows what. I don't know, queen c2, or I mean, I don't know what they play. I don't know what they play. But just saying, if white were to give it a chance, to be given a chance, queen c3, knight e6, threatening queen g7 checkmate. So that would be something. That would definitely be something. Probably black's not gonna just sit and wait, but looks good. It does look good. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Fabulous. Gukesh and Fabi. That's another beautiful ending here. I love this one as well. Rook f1 played by white. Let me see. 2-2-4, 3-2-5. Hey, I think black's winning. Or we're not sure because there is also a passed pawn. This is not quite over. I don't know what to say. This is so not over. This is serious, actually. Beautiful. I think, yeah, you gotta stop this guy. Absolutely, you have to stop it. I don't know what you're doing with white. You play this to go for this guy? Do you do something else? I don't know. Rook a1 for taking on a5? It's an idea. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, that's an idea. A rook a1. Let me go very quickly here because I really want to know what's going on. So, he opted for... Actually, they moved a couple of things. b3, rook e2 attacking queen, queen d1 check, king f2 out of check, and black's turn again. Black's turn again. We might have something like this, maybe? For this? Could it be? I mean, yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Queen h1. I mean, you just don't have too many options with black here. It's getting really serious. I guess he just acts out of desperation with something like queen to h2, checking king. Queen's gonna go on e3, queen to g1, check again. And then you're gonna go here, and then I don't know. It could be this, and then if they block you, you've got another check. And okay, he hopes. I think Nordibek hopes for some many dizzy checks and things and stuff. I don't know what to say. Yeah, you have to decide so quickly here. This is quite an important moment again. Although this is a massive truism, all the moments are important. So the idea would be knight. Okay, what do you do with white? Do you react to this or do you play knight g6 check? Can you play knight g6? This guy goes here, check. Yes, yes. And the big question, knight f8, rook takes. You going to do under promotion? Or you're just gonna promote, like queen, so to speak? Knight f8. Well, they don't have to take you, by the way. I mean, they could just move the king back. I think black is super happy to do the threefold repetition. Yeah, I think there you go, knight f8. Of course, black's not going to take the knight. You're actually going to get a queen. Yeah, of course they're not going to get. And guys, we can't do knight e6 because rook takes and g7 is being protected by the rook. So you can't really do knight e6. Shockingly enough, you cannot do this. How exactly? You're suggesting queen a5, f5 for a discovered and then for a checkmate on h7. Makes sense. If that were to happen like this, I understand your idea, queen f5 and stuff. I do. I do understand it. Yeah. You got quite a few checks coming then because there is a bishop and a queen. They'll be checking your king for sure. So you've got a few checks coming. Queen f5 makes sense, Amarian. Yeah, queen f5. Yeah, queen f5 makes sense. It's a discovered check. Yes. Queen f5, queen f5, queen f5, king h7. Okay, queen f5. Yes, he did play queen f5, indeed. What's next is just simply a discovered devastating check for probably this. If there's this, there is checkmate. And if they move here, we still have check. They move here. We got check here. They move back. And then knight h6 check. Okay, it's getting really, really, really serious for black. Okay, queen f5 makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Probably queen f. Okay, but this one we did say about queen to h2. That's the only thing actually they could play. You can't do this because this, right? Now that's interesting. Queen g3. Queen g3. King goes here. Oh boy. Well, yeah, but there is check here. Yeah, but then I'll take. Yeah, but then they take. Ugh. Yeah, but then maybe rook in this. It's maybe. Yeah, there's quite a few. Okay, queen g3. What do you play? Queen g3 check. What do you play? You play king d2 or something? Queen g3. Queen g3. King d2. Queen g5. Queen takes. Pawn takes. What exactly are you playing? Are you going to play like a rook d2 for this? Because actually, yeah, but then they don't have to take, and even if you take bishop takes, then the king gets closer. I'm not sure. I am not incredibly crystal clear if that keeps white with the massive advantage for winning. I'm not sure anymore. Queen takes g3. Where does white go? Where do you go? Don't tell me you're going on d4 right in the middle. It's an idea. So guys, this is very counterintuitive. So queen to g3 check. Can you just play king d4? I know it's insane, but it could be. There you go. Now that's the bigger question. What do you play? You play this or you play that? Where do you go? I would like to avoid trading the queens, Marian. So that is the reason I've suggested the crazy looking move king d4. That is the very reason. So where do you go? If you go king d4, there is queen g1. Check though. There you go, right in the bloody middle. You don't want to play king d2 because queen g5, it's not very clear that you do end up better with white after queen takes g5. For me, it's not clear, sorry. If you, I know you said queen trade is good for white, but for me, is not clear. It's just not clear. So, but I did suggest also king to d4. Now we do have this check coming. We do. And then, oh man, then I could go this, then they go back, then I'll go this. And that was about it. Well, there is this. You go here, they got this. This is actually serious. You got to be very, very, very serious. Okay, if this happens, can I play this or this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. King d4. I don't know. Check. Okay, let's check. King c3. Where do you go? King c3. Exactly. That's exactly where he moved. King to c3. You could also grab this guy if absolutely necessary. Of course you can. Where's the checks? Ah, yeah, it's f6 check. It's f6 check. Takes, takes. But then I win because I take on b3 and I think black's going to resign at the stage. If queen f6, Marian and David and Yash, if you guys still there. So, okay, queen g3. Can I go here or here? Where do you go? Queen b4. If queen b4, there is check like this. Okay. And then I'm going to go a3. Yeah, but then it's going to be this guy here. You just got checkmated. That was it. You're in deep trouble. So I guess you got to go d2, actually. King d2. King d2, king d6. And then you go c1? Yeah, that's how you do it. King c1. Oh man, that really deserves a video. This is a very nice, beautiful ending here. So queen g3 check, king d2, queen d6, king c1, and you've got no more checks. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah, rook e6, then bishop b5, I guess. King d2, queen g5, queen takes hg, rook e6, okay, and bishop b5. It's still not over. I think it's better for white because the white king potentially can go and grab the b3 black pawn, but it's not fully over. This is just not over. It's not over. Yeah, I guess king d2. And he better move a bit faster because he's like 1 minute or less. So, guys, I think the format they playing at the Superbet is just 30 seconds increment. They've got no other half an hour being added after 40 moves or something. So there is no other increment. The only increment is just 30 seconds per move that you get. That's it. That's it. No, positional helps you to winning the game actually, so that's absolutely fine. Positional means, you know, you're getting in control, but hey, why did he go down this road? Why did he get here? There is this. What the heck is going on? Oh, come on. Sorry, what the heck is this? If I check with rook b8, where does the white king go? I thought you were supposed to go king d2, man. Rook b8, check. Where do you say you're going? Where you go here? And after this, what do you do? Most certainly I'm missing something, right? I mean, what's going on with King B4? After Rook B8, where do you go? I guess you go. I mean, really, this is so weird. For Christ's sake, what is it doing? It feels incredibly unnecessary to taking that risk. Or okay, maybe he calculated and he made sure he's okay. But after Rook B8, what would you actually supposed to do? Okay, he went Queen D6. So you're gonna go back on C3, right? And after Queen G3, what do you do? Because we're going back to square one. Okay. I wonder. So we already had 4 draws today, ladies and gents. I wonder if this one is going to end up in a draw or someone's going to win. Okay, King C3. Okay, King C3. Fine. We're gonna have Queen to G3 again, right? We're gonna have Queen G3 check again, and I hope that on this occasion White goes King D2 just to clarify things a bit more. I guess. Queen G3, King D2. Queen G3, King D2. That makes sense. If not Queen G3, I don't know what else. Because it's a discovered check. Yeah, there you go. Of course, Queen G3. And now, really, I wonder why not King D2? Because you're not going to make anything going via B4. I mean, it looks a bit scary to go B4. Especially after Rook B8. Okay, maybe I'm missing some resources here, but just doesn't look okay. King D2, right? Yeah, finally. Finally, King D2. So, okay. You've got to go C1 now. You've got to go C1. And I think that's about it. So finally, after King C1, and he better move a bit faster because he's like 30 seconds or even less now. So after King C1, I don't see any other check that black can give. And what's coming? There you go. Okay, I think Abdusturov's going to resign now. I think Nordibek is going to resign. No more checks coming, and we've got, you name it. You've got all sorts of things. You've got all sorts of things. All sorts of threats, yeah. I think Black is going to resign. You've got no more checks, and there's going to be a discovered check at least, and I don't know what you're doing. I do not know what are you going to do. It's done. I think he's gonna resign now. Oh, he didn't resign. Oh, he wants to do Rook C8, ladies and gents. He wants to go with Rook C8. Hey, we're still gonna have Knight F8, you know? Knight F8, King here. No, there's a Queen here. Sorry, there is a Queen ready to take. It's not gonna happen. It's Knight F8. The only thing that may happen is that Wesley, due to the fact he's got like 20 seconds, he's gonna blunder something. He's gonna panic and he's gonna blunder. Because after all, you're a human with like 14 seconds on the clock. You might, okay, Knight F8, that's exactly what I would have played. Okay, now, again, it's this and then it's this, ladies and gents. I think something like that, right? Something like this, right? Okay, Queen H7, exactly right. King's gonna go here. And then bloody what? This. They take. Queen takes check. Yeah, I think something like this, guys. Something like this. We're gonna see if I'm right or not. So King to H7. If King goes F7, if this guy goes F7, are you going to play Rook F2, right? Well, king goes f7 now. I mean, it's not a matter of option. The question is, how do you play now? Rook f2, check. No, he goes queen f5. Well, what if the guy goes back? Uh, how are you going to deal with that? Check. Takes, rook takes. Is it over? These are so difficult. Okay, they go back. Check. They go back. Check. King takes, you take. Check. Where do they go? Really? Really, where do they go? I think king h7, king g8. So king g8, queen h7, king f7, rook f2, king takes e7. Come on, man. King, queen h7, king f7, rook f2, king takes, queen takes. I mean, what do you play? It's, I mean, like what? It's game over. Queen h7, king f7, rook f7, king takes e7, queen takes g7. Almost 20 seconds for white. I think the sequence should be absolutely fine for white. Okay, is he going to actually play rook f? Because that's, I think it makes sense. Rook f, king has to take, and then you take g7. Where do they go? There you go, for Christ's sake. That's exactly what I said 2 moves ago. I think he's going to resign now. King f7, queen takes g7, and that's about it. That's about it. I don't know, maybe he wanted to make sure or something, but I think it was quite obvious. I think he panicked a little bit when he played. But following this now, I don't see how black will survive. Okay, so let me do it again. King takes queen g7. They go king d8, I see. They go king d8. They go king d8. Okay. So you're going to play now no. Oh, that forces them here. And now you're going to play this. Mm-hmm. You can't say it's not exciting. King has to move. Well, they could go on 2 places. This is so difficult after all. King may go c7, king may go e7. If e7, we can look at knight g6 ideas, and I think that's it. If they go c7, we have then rook f7. And if there is rook e7, then we have queen a7. Okay, let's find out. I think white should be winning. White should be winning. If it's this, we've got this. If it's c7, we got rook f7. So king e7, knight g6. Check. And game over. If queen c7, we've got rook f7. And if you play rook e7, then we have queen a7, and I guess that's it. Two minutes 38. Well, less than this for Nordibek and less than 2 minutes for white. This is a live game now, and we're all very curious to see what these guys are doing. Nordibek, that is, with black. Looks like he's supposed to be losing versus Wesley. Wesley's supposed to be winning this. He went king c7. We did say it's only actually two choices here. And now I'm curious to see if he actually goes for rook f7, as I have indicated. I think that's probably the most aggressive move you could play. Yeah, right? Rook f7. Of course, rook f7. There you go. Rook f7. There you go. Okay, we covered that one too. I think we're gonna see some queen a7, right? Queen f7. There you go. All the moves have been predicted. Well, now the king has to go back. And are you actually taking with the rook here? No, he went for another check. Is he going to, hold on a second. Is he going to take though? Queen takes, check. This guy goes. This is so not over. This is not quite fully over. Oh my days. What do you do? 2 minutes 44. That's quite a few things to calculate here. Can you play this 96? Which is a check. If rook takes, no, he went for rook takes rook. Okay, okay. Now there's queen takes, or there is this. No, it can't be queen f4 because queen e3, and then I'm not sure what you did. No, probably queen's gonna take. Probably queen's gonna take. And then we might have this and checkmate. And checkmate? If queen takes, and I'll play queen b8. That's checkmate. All right? Let me do it again. White had taken a rook. If black queen takes, we've got this and it's checkmate. King can't take. Therefore, black queen has to go for some crazy queen f4. But after queen f4, queen e3, blocking and defending the rook. So I guess that's about it. I think that's about. I think Nordibek is going to resign now. I think he's going to resign now. I don't know what other resources you've got here. Okay, queen e7, queen b8 checkmate, and queen f4 check, queen e3 blocking the check. There could be queen f1 check, queen e1 blocking. Then if queen f4, I'm going to go b1. Okay, it's not fully over. Probably that's the only way you could continue the position here. Probably that is the only way. He went for this check though. King goes in the middle. Otherwise, if you moved here, there would have been check. You play and checkmate. So it was very important for the king to go actually on d2. Because if you went here, it would have been checkmate in 2 moves. So king to d2 now. Okay, more checks are coming. More checks are coming. Namely this guy. And yeah, okay, white king would be a little bit exposed. It would be a bit exposed. But I guess there is resources here for white to stopping all these checks at some point. So white is up in material now. Up in material, and yeah. If you can't figure out a way to do perpetual check, or if white doesn't blunder, I don't think black has gotten any chances to stay in the game here. Okay. Queen checks, okay, attacks b2, king's gotta move. I guess you're gonna go e3 here. You go e1 or you go e3? Well, that's a question. I think e1, e3. There could be another check here or there. We've got queen d3 and we've got queen e2. So we got these two available for black to play. Hello, Vezo. How's it going, my friend? So we got queen d3, queen e2. Okay, he opted for queen e2. You have to move the king. You have to move the king. You've got only d4 or you've got f4. Oh, that's okay. Normally, during school term days, it's around 7 p.m. ish, but now I've got a bit earlier. So I've started like around, I can't remember. I think I started 5:40 p.m. So that's another check here. King's gotta move again. Where do you go? Can you actually running on f5? The idea would be to just move the king. I mean, I know it's incredibly crazy, but okay, if you go f5, actually queen is going to play this. You go here. I mean, it could be this. I mean, you got to be very serious. It's actually quite risky. What exactly? I mean, there's quite a few checks coming, you see? So if you go f5, it's queen h5. This is serious. This is absolutely serious. And if you go king e2, black's going to play queen e2 again. Actually, black is, needing just one little blunder played by white. Just one little blunder. Obviously, white should be winning this. You only need a move now. You only need a tempo. Like rook d7, and if bishop takes, queen takes, and that's a checkmate. But there's a long way until you're reaching that because you're already in check here. That's and the white king is very exposed as well. There's so many checks. Where do you go? Can you play this? You kind of can, but there is a bishop c6, for instance. So you do king c6. Okay, so he went back. He didn't do f3 because probably bishop c6 would have happened. So now king to e3. It could be queen e2. It could be queen e2. I mean, I would play this one again with black if I could, of course. Oh, but it's a public domain. You don't need to do anything special. You just go to lichess.org, and on the homepage, on the on the homepage is displayed all the big events, the tourneys, or the best, strongest grandmasters that are playing right at this very moment. So it's no bother, my friend. That's okay. So yeah, you just go on the homepage of leechess.org and you have access to, you know, the strongest players and the main events, the main chess events taking place right now. So that's the whole secret, which is no secret at all. Hmm. Queen g3. Queen g3. Okay, king has to move. Where do you move the king? Where do you move the king? King d2. Okay. And it's gonna be, no, you can't do this, but you can definitely play g2. Oops. You can play g2. Or you could do this or that. No, that don't work because probably queen is gonna play this. It could be. Queen g2, king c3, queen g3, king b4. Is this the way out? Might be the way out. Okay, maybe. There's so many things. Queen g2, king c3, queen c2. Where do you move the white king? My God. King e1, king d2, queen d3, check, and king d2 again. Oh my, this is going to be. Look at this craziness, guys. If it's king c1, okay, it's going to be a perpetual. This is insane. This is crazy. Is it a perpetual? I mean, can you go king e1? I mean, if you keep doing this, it's going to be a threefold repetition. You see, it's just going to be a draw. It's just going to be a draw. No, it's a perpetual. You can't go c1 because queen to c2 checkmate. So it's gonna be a perpetual. This is what is. Yes, that's just amazing. All right. Wow. Okay, fellas. So we're gonna pause it for the time being, guys. And tomorrow being Thursday, I think I'm gonna try cover the round number 8 of the Superbet Chess Classic Romania. And yeah, enjoy the remainder of the day, guys. Thanks for visiting the stream, Vezo. And Marian was at some point, David was at some point. So, and Yash was, of course. So, thanks for watching this one, guys. And let's meet up tomorrow again. Thank you, and see you soon, fellas.